In these days, you're fighting for our people in Donbass, for the security of our motherland, Russia. The 9th of May 1945 entered world history forever as a triumph of our unified Soviet Union, its unity and spiritual might, unprecedented feats of heroism at the front and at the home front. The day of victory is close to each of our hearts. There is no family in Russia which wasn't scorched by the Great Patriotic War. Its memory doesn't fade. Today, in the ranks of the immortal regiment, grandchildren and great-grandchildren of those warriors march. They carry the photographs of their forefathers who will stay forever young, and the veterans who are no longer with us. We are proud of the generation of victors and that we are their inheritors. And our duty is to preserve the memory of those who defeated Nazism, who gave us the behest to be alert and to make sure that the horror of a global war will never be repeated. And that's why, despite all the differences in international relations, Russia has always been for the creation of the security of equal and reliable, the security that's needed by the whole world community. In December last year, we proposed to make a treaty of non-security guarantees. Russia called for a search for uncompromised solutions, but that was in vain. NATO countries didn't want to hear us, and this means that in reality they had quite different plans. And we saw that. They were openly preparing another punitive operation in Donbass, to an aggression against our historical lands, including Crimea. There were calls in Kiev about the possible acquisition of nuclear weapons. The NATO alliance began to move into their troops into our neighboring territories, and they were creating an unacceptable threat to us right at our borders. Everything pointed to the fact that clash with neo-Nazis and Banderovites, on whose the United States and their minions staked, was inevitable. We saw them unfolding a military infrastructures, how hundreds of military advisors began to work, and how regular supplies were being made of weapons. The danger grew every day, and Russia delivered a preventive strike against the aggressor. That was a forced, timely, and the only correct decision, the decision of a sovereign, strong, and independent country. I address our armed forces now and the militiamen of Donbass. You are fighting for your motherland, for its future, so that nobody will forget the lessons of the Second World War, so that there will be no place in the world for punishers and Nazis. Today we bow our heads to the blessed memory of those whose lives were taken by the Great Patriotic War, to the memory of sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, grandfathers, husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, relatives, and friends. We bow our heads to the memory of the martyrs of Odessa who were burnt alive in the trade union building in May 2014, to the memory of women and old people and children in Donbass who died under the shelling of Nazis. We bow our heads to our comrades in arms who fell in the righteous battle for Russia.